Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. It is Friday afternoon. I am in beautiful but chilly Sidney, Iowa. And man, we got an auction tomorrow. We're going to be filming for our TV show, folks. We need to do a little introduction here and talk about the sale. Now on the left, this is Lawrence Crom.
Yes.
And Lawrence, it's your retirement sale tomorrow.
Yes.
After 49 years of farming?
That's right.
Wow. And Lawrence served our country in Vietnam, folks. In the late 60s I think you were an engineer over there.
Yes.
And pretty interesting story here, folks. Lawrence, when he came back, actually for a couple of years, actually worked for International Harvester.
That's right.
Yeah. What year was that, Lawrence?
Almost 1972 to almost in 1974.
Okay. And you were the credit man
I
here?
was the credit man for this territory here and
Okay.
also western Nebraska.
Western Nebraska. Okay.
Out of North Platte.
That's a challenging gig, being a credit man as a young guy, huh?
Yes, I was probably not properly prepared for that. But
Well, a great,
I did the best I could.
life training, but you obviously the red connection has stayed. Folks, that Magnum 275 behind us here, 2010 model and very low hours. How many hours on that thing, Lawrence?
1,800 and some.
And you bought it new?
Yes.
Okay. And what dealer did you buy it from?
This came from Tri-Tractor in Clarinda, Iowa.
Okay. And folks, my apologies, I'll complete the introductions here. In the middle we have Mark. This is Lawrence's son. And Mark, thank you for coming out. And you obviously grew up on the farm here, and you farm yourself now about, what, 20 minutes away?
Yeah, over by Randolph and the
Randolph.
Malvern, Strand area.
Okay. And folks on the right, this is my friend Tom Schramm, Schramm Auction Incorporated out of Gretna, Nebraska. Tom, always great to see you.
You bet. Nice to see you.
And folks, we were doing a little filming here for the TV show. I had to kid Tom because last time we filmed one of his auctions was in Murray, Nebraska, what, 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
And I got stuck for 3 days. That was a good old-fashioned blizzard, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
But always great fun to watch you and Tim do your thing. Tom, you guys do a great job. And kind of a small sale tomorrow, folks. I think what, Tom, like
Hour and a half, 2 hours we're looking at, depending on how they bid,
Right. But folks, the reason that we came down is because the quality of equipment that Lawrence has here is just outstanding. I'll just pan over here. I'll give you a little shot, but a Maxim 150, I think a 21 model with what, 140 hours on it, guys?
Yes.
Wow. And then we have a pair of 856s, 70 model and a 67, guys?
Yes.
I think. Okay. And there's another shed. We'll get to that. But folks, Side Hill Combine, if you're looking or you know someone who's looking, they got a sweet 6150 CaseIH. How many hours on that thing, guys?
321 separator hours.
Is it a 20 or 21?
21.
21 model, 321 sep hours, 6150 Hilco Side Hill. So tell your buddies about that one. That's pretty interesting. Now, the low hours, Lawrence, I understand did you switch to no-till a while back?
It was many years ago.
Many years, okay.
It was 20 years ago, probably.
Okay. And so you just kept some hours off your machine, or had you been slowing down a lot over the last few years, or?
Yes, and I lost a couple of farms, and so
Sure.
just farmed about 1,000 acres the last 4 years, probably.
Right. So in the other shed, we'll get to the other tractor, but that's a 13 model. Is it a 235 Magnum?
Yes.
With how many hours?
1,374, I believe.
Wow. So again, between the Maxim 150 and the Magnum 275, super low hours here. Now, Mark, a lot of memories growing up. You were telling me about wrenching on the 856 over here. So you grew up driving red tractors?
I did,
What were some of the other first ones you drove beside the 856?
Well, we had a 1486. I, cut my teeth there quite a bit. So,
Okay.
anyway, yeah, we spent some time on the 856 there.
Right. Yeah, probably. What was the planter story you were telling me? What were you pulling behind that thing?
One year he was planning, and I think burned a piston, something like that. And so we pulled it in the shop, and right kind of where you're standing, and we pulled the head off and got it running in a couple days and back in the field. So
Nice. And folks, these guys are red to the bone here. I got to pan around. Mark pointed this out to me, but on the wall of the shop, Was that the first combine that you had, Mark?
Yeah, that was. I bought it in Leon,
Dyke, Iowa.
Dyke, Iowa.
from Walterman Implement. when
Oh,
they
sure.
Sold out. Yeah.
Sure. Well, Lawrence, again, your tractors are beautiful here. What can you tell us about that Magnum 275 2010 model pre-def?
It's been the best tractor I've ever owned.
Mm.
Just no breakdowns, a minor electronic switch in the cab. Fun after 10 or 12 years, I had to charge up the air conditioner, but it ran that many years with no maintenance at all. And so
And what were you using it for here on the farm mostly?
I pulled a big air seeder drill with it, was most of the hours.
Oh, and the air seeder, is that on the sale tomorrow?
Yes, it is.
That's,
The John Deere.
was that a 1690?
1990 CCS.
1990, 30 foot. Okay, right.
So I planted all my beans with it.
Okay. And you have a Kinsey planter on the auction tomorrow, Lawrence?
Yes, a 12-row
30,
planter.
is that a 3200?
3200 Econofold, they call them.
Like a 14 model or something?
Yes, like that.
Okay. Now, Mark, you were telling us, and Tom, you were telling us after we finished our TV filming, and this is why, folks, I love talking to the owners before the sale. Mark, I'll let you pick it up about the oil changes, recommended every...
Well, yeah, and I got to where I do mine, about 200 hours is where it lands.
Sure.
Dad was adamant, everything 100 hours, no more. So
He'd get after you about the 200
Oh,
hours,
yeah,
huh?
that was way too many hours.
So Dad, you've always done that 100-hour change the oil?
On these newer tractors, yes, I
Yeah.
have to do it right on the 100 hours.
Okay.
So it worked out good.
Yeah, and tell us your philosophy, Lawrence, about caring for your equipment. I mean, it's just beautiful condition here. Must have always been important over your farming career?
Well, that was one of my first projects. When I finally got a little money, I built a 40 by 80 shed, implement shed. So I tried to make use of that and keep everything inside when it
Right.
wasn't working. And that's the reason why the paint stayed good on these
Right.
things.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in that. The best investment you'll ever make is that good shed, right?
Well, I was 40 years old and I could do things back then and build it all from scratch.
Wow. That's a good project.
I may have leaned on my relatives a little bit.
Lean on your relatives?
Yes.
Well, folks, this is a can-do family here because we'll talk about the weather for the auction tomorrow. Tom, what is the projected high, like 10 below or something? Zero?
Projected low tomorrow is around 15, 20 below, but we're supposed to warm to a high of 4 degrees in the afternoon.
Okay, well, folks, you Machinery Pete followers our friends down south, Mississippi, Kentucky, Florida, Texas, you can smile along with us tomorrow as we're going to be out there in the cold, and I'll drive a long ways to watch equipment like this sell. But on the sale tomorrow now, Mark, you were telling me that you guys, it was tough to find. The food trucks were canceling.
Yeah, all the food trucks said they really weren't interested in coming out, and I'm not sure why, but
Well, I suppose kind of a small sale maybe, but then
Yeah.
also the cold. And
I guess nothing good happens when it's below zero. So anyway, we've put together one of my pickups as to makeshift food truck for tomorrow, so
Nice.
everything will be taken care of.
nice. And folks, we'll test my theory from 34 years covering auctions that adverse weather has always tended to produce real active bidding, and particularly when you have such nice equipment. And again, Tom, I bet you've been getting a lot of phone calls leading up to the sale.
Yeah, when you get these retirement farm sales, one owner equipment, low houred, the equipment that looks like this, I mean, you're going to get a lot of calls.
Right. And Lawrence, gosh, I bet you've been fielding a lot of phone calls on your low-hourly equipment.
Yes, I can't hardly get my work done because of numbers all the time.
Yeah, Lawrence was just on the phone here right before we started filming, folks. And did you tell me you actually got a call from a guy in Utah on one of your tractors?
Yeah,
Tom,
this morning we did.
Utah. Okay. Nice.
I talked to a guy from Wisconsin a few minutes ago.
Oh, a lot of those hill calls in Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yes, he was very interested in it.
Yeah. Well, you just can't find them like as nice as you have, Lawrence. And again, pre-def, that 10 model, folks, 275. I knew this one was going to be pretty hot. But Lawrence, Mark, Tom, thank you guys for telling us about the sale tomorrow. And there's online bidding tomorrow through Equipment Facts, Tom?
Yes, through Equipment Facts, 5% buyer's premium with a $1,250 cap. And before we end here, I'd like to thank Lawrence and Mark for all the hard work they've done and pushing snow this week, and they've really worked hard, heating these tractors up, and they've worked hard.
Yeah. Now, guys, and maybe before we stop, we should hop over to the other shed. Could we get a look at the 235 and the 6150 combine?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we hopped into the second machinery shed here, and there is the combine. I think it's, Tom, did you tell me again, a 21 model 6150?
Yeah, with a 321 separator hours.
And it's a Hillco side hill, so folks, great rig there. We got some guys just stopped over to take a look at it. And here is the 235 Magnum, 13 model, and again, what, 1,300 hours or something?
1374.
1374. And here is the little rig that our friends at Crom Auction will be selling from tomorrow. Tom, despite the below zero temps, you're not going to be selling from a pickup?
No, we always use this because we've been in situations where a pickup doesn't get around, and this thing will go about anywhere. So
You're feeling the people's pain at the auction.
that's
Out
right.
there with us.
We're
Yeah.
going to be outside just with the other buyers.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And Mark, what can you tell us about the Magnum 235?
Well, Dad bought it new. It was his planting tractor, and he really, I don't think he's had any trouble with it. He's planted with it for quite a few years, and it's been a good tractor for him.
And we can't see it too well here, folks, but back in the corner there, we have quite a truck that folks are talking about. Tom, maybe you can fill us in on the details. I think it's an 07 Volvo. Low miles on that thing, right?
Yeah, 144,000 miles, and that's hard to find a truck spec like that one. That's factory 625 horsepower, 16-liter engine, 46,000 pound rear ends, 391 ratio, heavy duty Eaton Fuller high torque, 2,200 foot torque pound transmission. That's a truck.
And pre-def.
And pre-def,
Yeah,
yes.
that magical 07. That has been a good truck for Dad, Mark?
Yeah, he's done quite a little repairs to it, but
Yeah.
the last few years he's had good luck with it.
Good.
We went down to Springfield, Missouri, and got it
That's where he got it?
several years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, again, the auction is tomorrow, Saturday, January 20th. Live online bidding, Equipment Facts, and again, it's Crom Auction Incorporated. My friend Tom here, and again, 21 model 6150 Hillco side hill, 320 some sep, and then the Magnum 235, the 2010 Magnum 275, pair of 856 diesels. It's going to be fun tomorrow. And hey, we'll be out here filming for the TV show, folks, so bundle up, come out and join us.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.